bombing of school-aged children to check neglected tropical diseases. President Buhari writes Senate seeks confirmation of acting Chief Judge and 19 new resident INEC commissioners. And from the foreign scene, Zimbabwe launches gold coin to tackle rising inflation. Thank you very much for joining us on the news tonight. I am Oyewumi Ayinigbara. The Ondo State chapter of Nigerian Labour Congress NLC, led by its chairman Sunday Adeleye today, stormed major streets in Akure, the state capital, in a solidarity protest for its members in government-owned universities. The solidarity protest, which was attended by its affiliates, is to further press home the need for federal government to resolve the lingering ASU strike and meet the demands of unions in public tertiary institutions. Osrc's Said Aribisala reports that Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who received the unions, promised to drive the message amongst its brother governors on the imperativeness of finding a lasting solution to the issue. And meanwhile, the NSC has warned of a 3-day nationwide strike across all sectors if the crisis in the nation's public universities is left unresolved by the federal government. NLC President Ayuba Waba said the protest first is to show concern and to also call for urgent action to resolve the issues. He said the next level is a 3-day national warning strike if nothing has happened after the protests. And as parents evacuate their children at Unity schools in the Federal Capital Territory, their counterpart schools in Ondo State have announced Friday as last day of the current session. The authorities at Federal Government Girls College, Akure, and Federal Science and Technical College, Ikare, have directed parents to pick their children up on Thursday, the 26th. Federal Government College Idwani will finish third-term examination on Thursday, hence parents have been urged to collect their kids on Friday. The federal government had yesterday given directives for all Unity schools in Abuja close due to reported rise in insecurity and threats to lives. And still on security which is the pillar upon which every meaningful development is achieved and sustained, is presently a major challenge in Nigeria. The nation has since the last 15 years witnessed spate of kidnapping and abduction, armed robberies, bombings and crimes of all forms and magnitude. Ondo State, as an integral part of the country, is not immune from this challenge. I will bring you the report in the course of the bulletin. The House of Representatives has stepped down a motion to call on the federal government to halt the proposed ban on motorcycles. A member from Jigawa State, Abubakar Kayile, had moved the motion during the plenary at the Green Chamber. He praised the House to urge the federal government to restrict the ban to local governments where banditry and terrorism were rife. The lawmaker believes a total ban would negatively affect the well-being and welfare of the common Nigerian if palliative measures are not put in place to ease its effect. After making its case, the Deputy Speaker of the House, Idris Wase, who presided over the plenary, prevailed upon Yalman to step it down. On Thursday last week, the National Security Council said it was considering a nationwide ban on motorcycles and mining activities as part of a strategy to curb terrorist activities, checkmate loopholes, and cut off their sources of funding. In the meantime, members of the lower chamber of the National Assembly have denied an alleged plot to impeach the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila. The lawmakers made the disclaimer amid reports that the Northern Caucus of the House was planning to impeach the Speaker to ensure that the controversial Water Resources Bill was passed. According to them, it is ridiculous that such a publication will be made and insist that they are solidly behind the Speaker. The matter was later referred to the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges for further investigation. The controversial Water Resources Bill, which seeks to bring all water resources, surface and underground, and banks of the water sources under the control of the federal government, was first introduced in the 8th Assembly but was rejected by the lawmakers. It was then reintroduced in the 9th Assembly but received backlash from a broad section of Nigerians and legislators who feared that it could endanger the unity of the country. And now back to the full report on the NLC protest. And we told you that the Ondo State chapter of Nigerian Labour Congress NLC, led by its chairman, Sunday Adeleye, today stormed major streets in Akure, the state capital, in a solidarity protest for its members in government-owned universities. The solidarity protest, which was attended by its affiliates, is to further press home the need for federal government to resolve the lingering ASUU strike and meet the demands of unions in public tertiary institutions. Osrc's Said Aribisala reports that Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who received the union's promise to drive the message amongst his brother governors on the imperativeness of finding a lasting solution to the issue.
Members of Nigeria Labour Congress NLC in Ondo State took to the streets of Akure, the state capital, just as their counterparts across the country. NLC's presence, strengthened by the attendance of all its affiliated unions, is a solidarity protest in support of unions in public tertiary institutions.
When the union spirit shall through the workers law shall run, there can be no power greater than anywhere being in the sun. Yet what for so not is greater than the weak strength of war. And the union makes us strong.
5 months and still counting, the nation's public institutions have been without any form of activity owing to worker strike over failure of government to meet all the various union demands. The demands, the unions say, are geared towards making public tertiary institutions compete with their peers across the world.
Nigeria has become government of some people, by some people, and their children. This is the point where we are reached, and we need to tell our government. Our children are sleeping at home. We are tired of that, and we are here to tell our people that we are tired to see our children sleeping with us and waking up with us.
I want to tell you, if we don't fight our right today, tomorrow, many of us will not be able to send our children to school again. How many of us can avoid private university? How many of us can send our children to UK or America? How many of us? We cannot.
The protest climaxed at Ondo State Governor's office, where NLC Chairman Sunday Adeleye stated that Labour will paralyze the economy if the issue is not resolved within the 2-week ultimatum given by President Muhammadu Buhari to Education Minister Adamu on the 19th.
We are here to ask not our rights, but for the right and future of even generation unborn. Because there is no way with 30,000 that a son of a gardener can attend a lizard. There is no way he can go to Ajiba. There is no way he can attend Ajoba. Please, sir, these are small universities like Akuba, like Fuda. Please allow the children of the downtrodden to at least attend.
Ondo State Head of Service, Adeniro Adeyemo, in company of the Special Advisor on Union Matters and Special Duties, Daria Ragbaye, received the Labour Union message on behalf of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu.
Yes, demonstration is part of democracy, but that we have it peaceful like this, I want to appreciate workers in Ondo State. The way our federal system is being run, as somebody said on radio this morning, even to bring somebody from heaven to come and run Nigeria, it will not work. We must review the way Nigeria is being run, and that's the stand of our governor, that's the stand of our state, that we cannot continue like this.
As the 2-week ultimatum counts down, the students who are worst hit can only hope for a solution. Sahida Ribisala, Osrc News.
In Ekiti State, Governor Kayode Fayemi has named a 46-member committee to coordinate activities marking the end of his tenure as well as inauguration ceremonies for the incoming administration of Biodun Oyebanji, built to take off on October 16, 2022. And the statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Yinka Oyebode, the committee is to be led by wife of the Governor, Erelubisi Fayemi, as chairperson, while wife of the Governor-elect, Mrs. Olayemi Oyebanji, is co-chairperson. Seun Odewale, Director General, Bureau of Public Procurement, will serve as secretary to the committee. The committee, among other tasks, will liaise with relevant organs of government, groups and individuals in organizing programs commemorating the 4th anniversary of Dr. Kayode Fayemi's second-term administration, as well as activities ushering in the incoming administration. The committee's assignment commences immediately. You're still on to the news at 7 on Osrc television. After the break, we'll bring you more stories. Please stay with us. You're welcome back on the news. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. Security, which is the pillar upon which every meaningful development is achieved and sustained, is presently a major challenge in Nigeria. The nation has since the last 15 years witnessed spate of kidnapping and abduction, armed robberies, bombings and crimes of all forms and magnitude. Ondo State, as an integral part of the country, is not immune from this challenge. In this special report, our correspondent Omorion Laongbeji takes a look at the present security situation and the challenge before the new Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Ondo and Ekiti States.
Nigeria has recently been ranked 143 among 163 independent nations by the Global Peace Index. It has also been rated the 6th most affected by terrorism in the world. Ondo State has not been shaded from the threats of insecurity, which prompted the state governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu to take steps in controlling the situation. Recently, the governor distributed patrol vehicles among the security agencies in the state to curb all forms of criminalities. For residents, it is evident that security agencies in the country are not performing up to expectation, especially in intelligence gathering and response.
Generally speaking, you see that we're in a confused situation. With the level of communication gadgets here and there, internet connectivities, it seems surprising and embarrassing that they can kidnap that number of people from the train station, and up till now they are still within this country and the government cannot track them down.
We should be talking of how to gather information. It looks like these bandits are even getting more information than the federal troops because of the saboteur within them.
In Ondo State, the collaborations of security agencies has to some degree reduced crime. The new Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG, in charge of Zone 17, Mr. Yunus Akira, who declared that he was deployed to the zone for security-related matters, said he would not fail the people of the states. According to him, though Ondo and Ekiti states are relatively peaceful, the police will continue to take necessary measures to preserve the peace.
There is no society that you can erase criminality to zero degree, but our effort is geared towards making it that it will be reduced to its barest minimum, and the people of this good state can go to sleep with their two eyes closed.
The AIG expressed satisfaction with the relationship among the sisters agencies, saying continued collaborations will strengthen the internal security architecture and make the state safe and secure. He urged the citizens to be supportive to security personnel to win the fight against insecurity.
Security is everybody's business. There is nobody that is not important as far as security business is concerned. Police work with credible information from all sectors, and we want to cultivate them. We want them to be our friend, feel free, our doors are open.
Mr. Yunus Akira assumed responsibility as the fourth AIG in charge of the zone after Etimokon retired from the service on June 5, 2022. Omoriola Humbeji, Osrc News.
And now to health issues. Organizations and individuals must join hands with governments to bring neglected tropical diseases to zero level in Ondo State come 2030. This was a charge made at the flag-off ceremony for the mass deworming campaign for school-aged children in Ondo State, organized by the Ondo State Primary Health Care Development Agency in collaboration with the mission to save the helpless Mito-South in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Joy Pius reports that the event had health workers and other stakeholders, including religious and community leaders, as well as students in attendance.
To eliminate the harm caused by worm infections in children by 2030, the Ondo State Primary Health Care Development Agency collaborated with a non-governmental organization, Mito-South, to organize a mass deworming campaign for school-aged children. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Banji Ajaka, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ondo State Primary Health Care Development Agency, Dr. Francis Akombiemu, explained various efforts made by the state government to improve the health of the people by tackling neglected tropical diseases. Akombiemu said government will not relent in its efforts at ensuring the elimination of entities from the state come 2030.
It's diseases that stay in the body for long, but the consequences, the devastation is usually so massive that affected individuals find it difficult to live a healthy life. It's because of the importance of this that the Ondo State government, collaborating with Federal Ministry of Health, the Mito-South, and every other organization to ensure that these deadly diseases is eradicated in our state.
The Executive Director, Mito-South, Dr. Francisca Olamiju, appreciated the Ondo State government for partnering with the NGO to kickstart the deworming program in the state, with an advice to all schools to allow administration of the drug known as praziquantel.
We've had time in the states where children, male children, were urinating blood, and it was misunderstood to be men or boys' menstruation, not knowing that schistosomiasis was eating up organs of our children. But we are happy to say that it is no more in the state. Before, we used to deworm children based on the endemicity at the LGA level. But since late last year, the WHO have said that we should no longer deworm according to LGA. We should move down to the world.
The National Coordinator, neglected tropical diseases. Dr. Nse Akpan, represented by Dr. Obiangeli Nebe, attested to the efforts of the Ondo State government towards eradicating NTDs in the state.
Let us feed the children but not the worms. So it also affects their physical and mental development. And when it gets to advanced stage of this worm infection, it could lead to bladder cancer, it could lead to infertility.
As Nigeria projects year 2030 to stamp out NTDs, eliminating the diseases from the state will demand an inclusive and equitable response from everyone. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
And still on health, the federal government says it had developed a national strategic framework for eliminating viral hepatitis in the country by 2030. The government said the framework was in line with the global health sector strategy for viral hepatitis control. Speaking at a press briefing in commemoration of the 2022 World Hepatitis Day, the Minister of Health, Dr. Sagie Yanure, said Nigeria is one of the first countries to have achieved this in a short time. He said Nigeria has, in alignment with the new strategy, developed its own national strategic framework for viral hepatitis aimed at achieving the global target of eliminating viral hepatitis by 2030. Away from health issues, the special advisor to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu on union matters and special duties, Mr. Daria Aragbaye, has advised quarry truck drivers to seek further clarification from Ondo State Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperative Society Services over the allegation of multiple double by government. The truck drivers are taken to the streets on the ground that a new ticket was introduced to them. OSRC's Said Aribisala reports that the special advisor, however, noted that the alleged receipt which generated the protest was not new.
Truck drivers who convey products from quarry sites in Akure and its environ altered the movement of their vehicles in protest of what they term multiple taxation. The protesting drivers say, following the suspension of union activities by Ondo State government, a 1,000 naira daily ticket was introduced to them. However, their lamentation was hinged on the recent introduction of another 1,500 naira ticket by one Aruna, allegedly acting on behalf of the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperative Services. The drivers say they want clarity on the matter so as not to be shortchanged in view of the current economic realities.
At the beginning, this was what was introduced to us. So, and we are used to this. We've been receiving it. We have so many of them in our trucks. So, the later now brought this one. We now said we are not going to be receiving this one. That they should tell us the authentic one among the two, so that it will be the one we'll be receiving generally. So, and it has caused trouble. So later on, they now brought civil defense to come and harass us at the quarry. So that is why we are here.
tá a dẹ̀ fi tí ara wa gbọ́ nínú rédíò ní tẹlifíṣàn ni pé one ticket nílé tí a ti ń já ipe outcome eléyìí within one state báwo ló ṣe wá jẹ́ 2 tickets within the state pé kán wá ṣàlàyé fún wa.
Special Advisor to Governor Akeredolu on Union Matters and Special Duties, Daria Aragbaye, while reacting to the drivers' protest, said there should be no confusion as the all-age ticket, which the drivers kick against, has been in existence before now.
They were taking tickets from URW and they were taken from Ministry of Commerce on haulage. The one you are showing me is for haulage. They should collect the two, so there is no confusion about it. But the one they used to collect from NURTW is their own membership operational fee. You understand? And having set up the park management committee, that committee continues to sell the tickets for motorists, taxis, buses, and all of them.
He advised the protesting drivers to seek further clarification from the concerned ministry. OSRC's attempt to get the position of the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperative Services proved abortive. Sahid Aribisala, OSRC News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has forwarded the name of the Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, to the Senate for confirmation of his appointment. His request for the confirmation of the appointment of Justice Ariwola as CJN was contained in a letter that was read on the floor of the Senate during plenary at the National Assembly in Abuja. According to the letter, the President is asking the lawmakers in the upper chamber to speedily confirm the appointment. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari has written the Senate to confirm the appointment of 19 new resident electoral commissioners for Independent National Electoral Commission. In a letter dated July 25, 2022 to the upper chamber and read at plenary by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan, Buhari said the request for confirmation of the nominees was in accordance with the provisions of Section 154, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Buhari explained that the nomination of 5 resident electoral commissioners are for renewal, while the other 14 are fresh appointments. And now to the foreign scene. Zimbabwe has come up with a novel idea to tackle inflation. The central bank has launched gold coins to be sold to the public. The first batch of 2,000 coins was minted abroad, but eventually they will be produced locally. And to sport. The second batch of Team Nigeria's contingents to the 2022 Commonwealth Games has arrived in Birmingham, England for the multi-sporting event, which starts on Thursday. Ondo State accounts for 6 members of the team already on ground in the English city. Among them are 2 judocas Fatai Muritala and Cecilia James Okoyemioke in 400 meters, and Amadi Ome, who joins the table tennis team. Dotun Omoni, a table tennis coach from Ondo State, is also in England for the 11-day games. Nigeria's wrestling teams with 6 Ondo State grapplers and their coach Purity Aku will depart for Birmingham on Sunday. And with that sports story, we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you in the news that members of Nigerian Labour Congress in Ondo State today joined their counterparts across the country to show support for striking university lecturers. The Ondo State government have commenced mass deworming of school-aged children in a bid to check neglected tropical diseases. President Muhammadu Buhari has written to Senate requesting the confirmation of Acting Chief Judge of Nigeria and 19 new resident INEC commissioners. And from the foreign scene, Zimbabwe has launched gold coin to bring down inflation in the country. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Good evening.